We already calculated that a 6-second kill is exactly the same as a 0.6 second kill for a boss. I pulled up to Bandos thinking no big deal. I'll combo him in 6 seconds and be on my way. I have never been more mistaken in my life. Here's the thing, he has 3 minions, Strong Stack, Steel Will, and Grim Spike, who all love a good beating. That's how 5 hours of research turned into 20 hours of bonding with the boys. When Bandos spawns, his minions also attack you, and sometimes your character attacks them first. This makes melee unusable for high kills per hour. You end up just running back and forth. We'll use magic instead. I have an Inquisitor's Staff with Precise 6, Equilibrium 4, and Ruthless 3. I'm using Equilibrium to ensure damage is more consistent and Ruthless to get a damage buff from the minions when the aggro does not work in our favor. So basically I'll kill a minion and then I'll get a Ruthless stack so I can hit more on the boss. I've also made a critical purchase, the Enchantment of Affliction. Combined with the Inquisitor's Staff, this combination will give us the highest damage possible with Mage on the General, even outperforming Greater Concentrated Blast. Here's the full setup. For relics, you need to use Persistent Rage, Conservation of Energy, and Fury of the Smalls. For prayers, I'm using Soul Split and Affliction. You can use Torment if you don't have Affliction unlocked. For my spell, I use Air Surge to save on rune cost. I don't use any auras in the setup, but damaging auras will get you more kills per hour. Besides the perked out Inquisitor's Staff, I have Subjugation with Biting and Crackling. I'm using a Virtus Mask and Blast Diffusion Boots for damage. A side perk of the mask is it removes the teleport warning when you enter War's Retreat portal, saving you a couple ticks when banking. I have Cinderbanes for the poison chance on minions. They do not work on the boss, but they're helpful for the minions occasionally. I brought an Ancient Book due to its low cost and a Reaver's Ring for increased crit chance. Finally, I have the Demon Horn Necklace for prayer renewal and the Magic Zuck Cape for a powerful Omni Power. My inventory has a Spring Cleaner and drop placeholders, 2 Elder Overload salves with potion reservoirs, a Ripper Demon with scrolls, and a few portents of restoration to avoid death. You can use Holy Overloads instead of Elders, but it will drop your kills per hour by about 3. I would suggest not using scrolls in your Ripper Demon, as it will only add an extra 2 kills per hour. The cost of the scrolls is about 400k, which isn't worth the 2 kills. From my testing, you need to have the auto-fire rate set to 1 or else it will actually be worse than no scrolls, so an in-between option isn't worth it. You'll also notice I have a portable fairy ring. We'll get to that soon. My action bar is the following. I start with Dragon Breath because it will hit Bandos even if I hit a minion first. With my setup, Dragon Breath will typically one-hit the first minion and then give you a chance to salvage a 12-second kill. After that, I have Wild Magic to do big damage to Bandos or one-hit a second minion if I get unlucky again. Sometimes Wild Magic will hit that first minion if Deep Breath doesn't insta-kill it, so I follow up with Greater Chain and Omni Power. That way the next 2 minions will die quickly and a sub 24-second kill can still be salvaged. The great thing about Ruthless here is that the more botched the kill becomes from attacking minions, the more damage you deal to the boss, so it helps even things out and still get fast kill times when you get a bad minion spawn. The final primary ability I use is Asphyxiate. This will be the closer on Bandos' most kills. After that, a few other abilities are also included just to help with edge case scenarios when minions don't go as planned. Overall, most kills should be about 9 seconds here, sometimes a little bit higher. So the portable fairy ring. Teleporting to the code DKQ applies a 4-hour, 5% damage buff in God War's dungeon. You can toggle the buff on in settings to see how much time you have left. Make sure you have this on before starting the kills or else you will not be able to get sub 12 kills consistently and you won't get great kills per hour. Next, head to Anachronia and activate the Totem of Intimidation. The totem allows you to skip the kill count at God War's dungeon, and will save you a lot of time because you'll be rebanking every hour in War's Retreat. Once you enter the instance, surge to the opposite wall and walk 2 squares north. It's very important that you're in exactly this spot. Minions will aggro on you less often, and it will allow your D-Breath to hit Bandos every single kill. I tried many different combinations and locations, including intentionally chaining a minion first and then attacking Bandos, but this spot and action bar prevailed above them all. The only step left is to activate your prayers, get your familiar ready, turn on your ancient book, and enjoy the ride. Watch a few kills to make sure it's going smoothly, and check in periodically to grab any drops. You should make about 3 mil GP per hour profit. I assume most of you are killing Bandos for the collection log or pet, so let's take a moment to discuss Hardmode. The drop rate for the pet is 1 in 1k in Hardmode versus 1 in 5k in normal mode, with a threshold of 1000 kills. I'll share an AFK setup that can get you about 50 to 60 hard mode kills per hour. Some quick math that makes hard mode significantly more efficient to get the pet. The downside is it's much higher effort and cost compared to normal mode. I suggest finding a balance and maybe doing 1000 normal mode kills casually for the log and a chance at the pet, and then if you don't get the pet by then, switch to hard mode if you have the gear and requirements for it. Shout out to PVME for the hard mode rotation. I played around with a few other combos, but found this one works very well due to Bandos reflecting damage and becoming immune for periods of time. It's absolutely necessary to have Greater Concentrated Blast unlocked. Greater Sunshine and Chain will push you into higher kills per hour, but they're not essential. The Crypt Bloom is pretty much non-negotiable, or else you will die with bad RNG. The Ring of Death is a nice failsafe, but you don't need it. You can substitute a Chandler's Ring instead. I use the Ancient Book because I love it, but the Scripture of When is a great one to use here. For your aura, you'll want to use Penance Aura to make this AFK. You can use the Powder of Penance when the aura is on cooldown, or just take a break and go back to normal mode for a while. For your relics, you'll need Persistent Rage, Death Ward, and Conservation of Energy. The next important piece is the spells. You want to cast Exsanguinate and Refresh Animate Dead every 12 minutes. Additionally, you'll need to cast Prism of Restoration every 5 minutes or so to keep your Hellhound alive. The Hellhound will help you tank damage, but it can die, so check in on it periodically. I used a Ripper Demon and Blood spells for a while, but it ended up getting killed by the boss also, so I just stick with the Hellhound strategy instead. You won't make any money in hard mode, but it will get you the log faster if you can do it. Personally, I prefer just chilling in normal mode. It's much less stressful and it's true full AFK, whereas for hard mode you need to check in periodically. I also put together the absolute bare minimum setup that allows you to AFK at the normal mode boss. If you can upgrade a single item here, I almost guarantee you can. It will push your kills much higher. This setup is extremely cheap. I use Bandos armor with a Masuda's War Spear, which is a 2 mil level 82 halberd. I then have a regen bracelet with a 99 hit points cape for healing. I use the Asylum Surgeon Ring, which anyone can obtain from Broken Home. Finally, I use a Scrimshaw of Vampirism for healing. It costs approximately 600k an hour to maintain the Scrimshaw. I use no familiar and opt for a legendary pet to loot drops. For prayers, I use Protect from Melee, Piety, and Rapid Renewal, with all of my prayer regeneration coming from Bone Crusher and the Demon Horn Necklace. I realize this necklace has somewhat high requirements, so you can opt for a split Dragon Tooth necklace instead, but you will need to pray at the altar periodically or bring some prayer potions. I filled my inventory with Portents of Restoration 8. These will heal me along the way and help extend trips. I also have the Infernal Puzzle Box in my tool belt for adrenaline retention. My bar is a pretty normal melee bar, but I've added Ice Asylum at the start. That will provide additional healing every 5 minutes and help prolong trips. Overall, you should be able to AFK for about 30 minutes before you need to bank, but if you eat food from the boss, you should be able to stay indefinitely. Honestly, I only recommend doing Bandos if you want the pet or collection log. There are better things to do for money and boss kills, so I would not use this lower level setup. But if you really want to kill him, it should work for you. If anyone has some 500 IQ method to deal with a minion aggro, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, let me know what boss you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching.